Hi and welcome to the Nostalgic Dragon, where I talk about mythological books and fantasy books. Today, a video on how to start to read mythology. This is a guide or a reference point. You might have other ideas. Please share them with me if you would like to. This is not the way to do it. You can have different ideas. You might read different books, for example, or have another approach. But share it so we can talk about it. First of all, I think it's important to start with your local culture, local city culture, country culture, regional culture, family culture, stories, books. Is there something you would like to read or explore? I think every country, every region, every culture has its own mythological stories. North America, or the whole of America, you have the Native American culture and a lot of mythology there, of course. Here in Scandinavia or Sweden, where I live, we have a Norse mythology, a lot of stories about gods, different gods. That's a way to start. Maybe you're interested in Greek mythology, another way to start. And you can also look up Roman mythology, for example. Maybe you are from the Indian subcontinent and you have a lot of mythological stories and epics that you can start to read. Please note that for some people, mythology is actual faiths today, so people believe in those stories. Also, Christian stories are, in a way, mythology, I would say. Some cultures label things as mythology, but they don't label their own religion as mythology. So just keep that in mind and respect that, of course. Mythological stories usually have shaped societies, cultures, traditions, literature, and so on. That's something different from, let's say, fantasy or Lord of the Rings. No one believes in Lord of the Rings, I suppose, at least. So start locally. If that's daunting to you, I would really recommend you to do both, or just look up comics. Sometimes comics is a big no-no for people. I think comics can be good, and there are. I think Neil Gaiman has written about Nordic gods and has a comic about that, so you could check that up, of course. Yeah, you have The Sandman, of course, by Neil Gaiman, and which has a lot of mythological influences and cultural references, of course. But you also have the DC and the Marvel universe. And they are affected by the mythological stories, and maybe in a way it's urban mythology. So why not look that up too if you're not too uncomfortable with comics? You don't need to read them all. I have not done that, but maybe see the structure of superheroes. What kind of powers do they have? What kind of stories do they tell you about? And what do they want you to learn? There are also books, of course, and I'll tell you about my own journey very briefly. If you follow my channel, you have seen some of the books. Sorry for that, but it's for a purpose. I will show them again. This book, Nordic Gods and Hero Tales, I bought it when I was very young, maybe 10 or 11 years old, about the gods here in Scandinavia, Thor, Odin, etc. So that was my local culture. So I started there. I also read a lot of Christian stories as well, usually then here not referred as a mythology, but they of course have mythological themes. Maybe for some people it's mythology rather than a religion. As you know, I have Indian heritage as well, so this is a book I really recommend. It's the Mahabharata, it's the Hindu epic. It starts with a dice game and then becomes a war, you could say, between two clans. This one is a non-traditional Mahabharata, also very short because Mahabharata is very, very long. This is written by Carol Satyamurthy. It's in Shakespearean style. It's blank verse. It's very beautiful, actually. So please look this book up if you want to. You don't need to read the whole book, you can read just a chapter and so on. It's okay, you decide. At the moment, you know that I'm reading the Iliad, so that's a good starting point as well. There are many different versions of the Iliad, one by Fagles, which is recommended to many readers. I'm reading, my version is in Swedish, and very beautifully translated into Swedish poetry, so that's very nice. Maybe you can find a version of some of these mythological books in your own language. Odyssey is, of course, another book in Greek mythology. But if mythological books maybe seem too heavy for you, or maybe not that interesting, there is always different kind of encyclopedias. So this video is for you to get engaged in this, to search up books for yourself. So this book I'm showing right now is actually Swedish, but you will get the point. The Big Mythological Encyclopedia. You can find these in your own languages, and there are many different books of this all around the world. So you start at a letter like A for Achilles, and then you can search it and you can see what does it say. That's also a way to approach how to start to read mythology. Use an encyclopedia, and today we have internet, of course, so you can also of course look things up there. Another way to approach this is, of course, through fantasy, since fantasy and mythology has a lot in common. This is a book I really recommend to you. It's a dictionary of sources of Tolkien. So everyone has heard or read Tolkien and The Lord of the Rings. So I think this is a very, very good start. I will show you an example. And it says here on the front page of the cover, the history and mythology that inspired Tolkien's world. And here is an example. So this is something everyone knows about. It's the Balrog of Angaband. Balrog. So you can search for Nazgul, Balrog, Mumakil, I think they are called, Oliphant. Maybe that's Swedish, I'm not sure. So you look up the word, and then you, or the names, and then you get a description, what mythological origin this can be from. So here it says that visually the Balrogs, while male, are comparable to the demonic Erinyes, Furies of Greek mythology. So this is an example, and the text here about the Balrog it's not long, but it says a lot more. But it's boring to hear me read, I suppose. There is also a relation to Balrog and an Old English old poem, Exodus, for example. So this is a book I really recommend, and when you read about the Balrog, maybe you read about a book or a story, and then you can look that story up. So that was some advice from me to you. As I said, see it as a reference point, a guide. It's not the solution how to do that. And for you who are following me more closely, I'm thanking you for commenting. And also, I was supposed to release this video yesterday. I will never postpone videos. Someone commented on my YouTube channel about that. I will never postpone. Sometimes delay, because life includes a lot of things, right? So this is it. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. And I wish you a good day. And please comment in the field below if you have your own thoughts about how to approach mythology. Bye.